Hey there! Alright, let's see, make sure we got this going. Alright, today I'm going to talk about 3 mistakes that people are making when it comes to sugar. And I want to start off by saying, why you should care. Why does this matter? So I work with a lot of clients who have done Weight Watchers, they've done Whole30, they're like, cool, I need to be a little bit more extreme. Maybe I need to do keto. I just have to cut out all of that stuff. I can't even have fruit. Or maybe they're like, oh my gosh, that didn't work. I need to go even more extreme. I have to try bright line eating. I can't have any of those things. I need to go to meetings because I cannot be trusted around sugar. And I just want to say that, if you're in one of those places and you've tried one of those things and you felt super successful while you were doing it, but then you fell off of it, you're in the right place. This is a great video for you because we all feel super successful when we're on the diet. We feel super successful. Why wouldn't we? Obviously we'd keep doing it. We keep doing it and we feel good. We feel, you feel happier, you feel lighter. You're like, cool, I feel in control because I'm hyper focused on this thing. And we think, I'll just do that the rest of my life. I will just follow this diet the rest of my life. And I think that we think it's going to be easier. It'll get easier. I'll just never have sugar again. I'll just never have cookies again. I'll just never have pizza again. And what I have found in working with clients is that they're 30, 60, 90 days or whatever, they can be super controlling, but then what happens is they fall off of the diet and then they're like, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know how to eat. And they try to get themselves back onto the diet. If I can just get back to Whole30, if I can just get back to tracking macros or tracking Weight Watchers points or following my 4 bright lines, they're like, if I can just get back to that, I'll feel in control again and I'll feel good. I won't feel disgusting. And so what happens is easy isn't the right word, but it's the first time you do a diet, it's kind of easy to follow those rules and you feel there's this novelty, but then it's what do you do the rest of your life? So if you are someone that this is you've tried these things, you've been successful, but then it's well, what do I do? This is the great place to start. And so I want to talk about 3 mistakes that people make when it comes to sugar. So number 1 is what did I say? That we're all in different spots. So you might be someone who's in the middle of this, you might be a little bit out of this, whatever, and maybe you're not doing any of the things that I talk about. So you're going to fall into one of these different categories. And I've been in all these places where I wasn't eating healthy at all, where I was super restrictive, and where I was binging after being super restrictive. So if that's you, if you're in one of those spots, this is for you. Okay, so number 1 mistake is people start their day eating a crap ton of sugar. They'll go and they'll start with start their day with coffee with sugar and whipped cream and whatever, and it's great. That's the first thing that you're putting into your body and you're oh, I just want some more. So instead of starting your day with that, start your day with having some water, a giant glass of water. If you're gonna have coffee, that's fine, but start your day with a giant glass of water. Set yourself up for success. Do kind things for yourself. And I always like to think about what if I had kids or students, what would I want my students to start their day off with? I would rather my students starting off with water than drinking all of this fruit punch or giant chocolate milk. I'd like them starting off with water. And that's the same thing that we have to do as adults. Set yourself up for success. Don't put a crap ton of sugar in your body first thing. Start off with some water. The second mistake that people make when it comes to sugar is they think that if they've had a little bit, then that means F it, I might as well just keep eating. I'm not perfect now. I might as well, everything's ruined. I've fallen down this rabbit hole. I have to keep going with it. So it's if you did start your day with the giant chocolate milk, or you did start your day with the giant fruit punch or giant coffee, with whipped cream, they're see, can't do it. But it's no, having a little bit of it isn't a big deal. And what I suggest too is reminding yourself, how do I want to feel? How do I want to feel? How do I feel my best? What things can I do? So even if you start your day having that, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of your day. It's cool, the next choice, do something that's kind for your body. Or I think about this, if you did have, you had cookies during lunch, that's not think about all of the bad things that you could be doing. Having cookies with your lunch is not a bad thing. You had cookies with your lunch. It's not a big deal. So I like to think about that. Stop saying that if you weren't perfect, you didn't follow the perfect clean eating plan, you didn't follow exactly what you were supposed to be doing, that it's the end of the world. It's not. It really, really isn't. Just, fill yourself up on those things that do make your body feel good. And the last thing, that the mistake that people make is that they think the only way to break a sugar habit is to do a 30-day sugar cleanse, do a whole 30, I was just looking at someone, they're like, I am cutting out all of dairy, alcohol, sugar, I'm not having any of it, I'm going to feel great at the end of these 30 days. And my question is, what happens on day 31? What happens? What are you going to do on day 31? Is that what you're going to keep up with? Are you, in my experience with myself and with clients, is on day 31, we go back to the old habits and we're eating everything in sight. On day 31, day 32, day 33, we're just like, oh my gosh, I'm eating everything. Or there might be this place of like, now I'm afraid if I have a little bit, I'm going to have a lot of it. So you've only ever practiced restricting, not having any, or eating all of it, and there's never that place in the middle. So if you think about, like, if you want to get into like habits and neural patterns, how your brain works, you've only practiced having all of it, or you've only practiced having zero of it, but you've never practiced what is it like to live a life where you have a little bit and not a lot of it. And that's what I help people with. So my suggestion is, stop doing those 30-day cleanses, because they only set you up to eventually binge. They only set you up to feel super afraid of those foods, and then you see those foods as being trigger foods. You see those foods as being on this pedestal. Oh my gosh, if I have one of those, I'm going to binge and eat all of those. And the hard thing is that that's what your evidence is. You only have that evidence of, I can be perfect or I'm binging, because you've never practiced that place in the middle. Good, I got some people, you're like, yeah, that's me. I've done that before. So it's this weird thing of that restriction. We think that restriction is going to solve our binges, but restriction is actually the cause of binges for some people. Yes, you might be in that category of, I'm just eating everything in sight, and you need to drink more water, eat more vegetables, but like completely cutting out your favorite foods, completely cutting out your favorite social occasions, that is going to either set yourself up to be afraid of those things, or to eventually binge on those things. And then when you binge, it doesn't actually feel good. You're eating these like fun foods and it's not fun at all, because you feel disgusting because you overdid it. So my suggestion is, practice learning how to have a little bit without it turning into a lot of it. And that's what I help people do. My thing was, it wasn't actually cookies or sugar. Well, it was, but my thing was pizza. Like, at the end of my last Whole30 in February 2016, I ate all of the pizza. And then the pizza was like, well, geez, look, I just messed up. Might as well go to the store. And we got like a giant chocolate cake, and I got kettle corn from Trader Joe's, and I can't remember what else, but it was just eating, like it just opened the floodgates. And then at the end of that, I was like, I cannot go back and do another Whole30. All of this restriction is actually what's causing me to do all of this stuff. Years before, I just wasn't a healthy eater. I wasn't eating any vegetables, but all of this restriction set myself up to binge. When the thing that I needed to do, literally the only thing that I needed to do, was eat more vegetables than protein. Had someone taught me that, instead of like, cool, you have to do this super restrictive diet, I would have been in such a better place. I would have skipped over all of this crazy stuff, this crazy relationship with food, and it would have just been in a better place. And so that's what I want for you. You don't have to set yourself up to do this crazy restrictive diet where you're fearful of social occasions. You can practice having a little bit without it turning into a lot of it. And so that's what I'm going to tell you about the 3P challenge. We start on Monday, September 16th. The 3P challenge, we're going to work on eating plants, protein, and a little bit of processed foods. I'm going to teach you how to have some of the cookies without eating all of the cookies, or how to have some of the pizza without eating all of the pizza, how to have some of the sugar, some of the processed carbs, some, the simple carbs without eating all of them. This is what I find. A lot of people message me and they're like, cool, like I lost weight, but now I'm struggling to keep it off because I didn't include any of those foods. Now I don't know how to have them. If I have them, I go overboard and I eat all of them. So if that's you, if that's where you're at, I just want you to know that you are not alone. Unfortunately, this is what diet culture has set us up. We're fearful of all of these food situations and we overdo it. So I love imperfect eating. It is the way I talk about balanced eating or moderation. And it really, like, letting go of that perfection helped me actually be a better eater now than I ever was in the past. So I'm going to put the link. You can go to www. Make sure you put the W's. If you don't put the W's, it won't work. imperfecteating.com/the 3P challenge, and we're going to work on how to have some of the cookies without it being all of the cookies. It's not just a meal plan. People are like, cool, just give me the meal plan. I'm like, cool, what happens after the meal plan is done? So we're going to do a lot of mindset work. We focus on meals, movement, and mindset, and the mindset work is the thing that you're probably missing. Weight Watchers, Whole30, Bright Lane Eating, they kind of like drill you into, cool, must lose weight, must lose weight, must lose weight. And I'm like, cool, how can we be kind to ourselves so that when we make a mistake, it's not the end of the world? So we're going to be working a lot on meals and mindset during this 3P challenge. And yes, you will get my lunch guide as well. So I will put the link down, and can't wait to see you. Start Monday. Bye, guys.